Why do we get more irritated with our parents as we grow older? Let's be honest. At some point, we all feel it. That sharp irritation when our parents speak, ask questions, or even just exist in the same space as us. Maybe it's the way they ask, "Did you eat?" Maybe it's how they repeat the same stories. Maybe it's how they always have an opinion on your life choices. But here's the thing, this isn't just you. It happens to all of us. The older we get, the more annoyed we become. The question is, why? Why do the people who raised us, who loved us, who sacrificed for us, become the ones who frustrate us the most? Is it because we've changed, or is it because they haven't? Today, we're going deep. Psychology, philosophy, real-life experiences. We're breaking down this invisible tension between parents and their growing children. And by the end of this episode, you might just see your parents and yourself differently. As children, our world is small. Our parents are like heroes, strong, wise, and always in control. We trust them completely. But as we grow older, we start to see the truth. They are just people. They make mistakes. They don't always have the right answers. And sometimes their advice is based on fears rather than wisdom. The more we notice their flaws, the harder it is to see them the way we once did. We stop seeing mom and dad and start seeing two people with their own struggles. And when we realize they aren't perfect, it can be frustrating. We might even feel betrayed, as if they should have been better. Imagine this. You come home after a long day, exhausted. You just want to rest. The moment you walk in, your mom asks, "Did you eat?" A simple, caring question. But instead of feeling loved, you feel annoyed. It's not really the question that bothers you. It's the fact that she's asked it 100 times before. It's the feeling that she still sees you as a child. It's the little reminders that, in her eyes, you haven't fully grown up yet. As we grow older, we want freedom. We want to make our own choices, build our own path. But for parents, letting go is hard. They have spent years protecting us, guiding us, worrying about us. That doesn't stop just because we get older. So they keep giving advice, keep checking in, keep telling us how to live. But instead of feeling cared for, we feel controlled. We push back, even when we know they mean well. And that push and pull turns into irritation. Becoming your own person. Carl Jung, a famous psychologist, talked about individuation. It's the process of becoming your own person, separate from your family's influence. This is what we go through as we grow. We start to question everything, our beliefs, our values, and even the way we were raised. This is why their words start to bother us more. When they tell us what to do, it feels like they're keeping us from discovering things for ourselves. Even if they're right, we don't want to hear it. We want to learn in our own way. The Four Agreements by Don Miguel Ruiz. One of the ideas in this book is, don't take things personally. When our parents criticize our choices, it feels personal. But in reality, their words come from their own fears and experiences. They aren't doubting us. They're projecting their own worries. Understanding this can help us be less frustrated with them. Emotional baggage from the past. Irritation isn't just about habits and control, it's also about history. Every family has past arguments, old wounds, and unspoken feelings. The longer we live with our parents, the more those memories build up. A simple comment can bring back years of frustration. For example, if a parent always criticized us as kids, even a small joke about our choices can feel like another judgment. We react not just to the words they said today, but to everything they've ever said before. Marcus Aurelius and Stoicism. Marcus Aurelius, a Roman emperor and philosopher, once said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events." Our parents' words and actions are outside events. We can't control them, but we can control how we react. Instead of getting angry, we can take a step back. We can remind ourselves that their words are just words. They don't have to define us. The uncomfortable truth. But here's the truth we don't like to admit. We are changing too. The frustration we feel towards our parents often comes from the fact that we are growing and they are staying the same. Sometimes our irritation isn't really about them, it's about us. It's about our struggle to find our place in the world, our fear of becoming like them, our fight to be seen as adults. The more we grow, the more we want to distance ourselves from who we were as children. And our parents remind us of that past self. Imagine this. One day, you wake up and the house is quiet. No one asks if you ate. No one tells you how to live your life. No one nags or worries or checks in. Would you miss it? Life plays a cruel trick on us. The things that annoy us now, the calls, the questions, the constant concern, are the things we might long for in the future. Finding peace. So, how do we deal with this? How do we stop feeling so irritated by the people who raised us? The answer is acceptance. Accept that they are human, just like us. Accept that they won't always understand us, just like we don't always understand them. Accept that love is messy, imperfect, and sometimes frustrating. Instead of letting irritation take over, we can choose a different response. We can set boundaries, communicate openly, and remind ourselves that they only act this way because they care. Because in the end, the people who annoy us the most are often the ones who love us the deepest. Thank you for joining me on this episode of Vault of Thoughts podcast. If this resonated with you, share it with someone who might need to hear it. And remember, understanding ourselves is the first step toward understanding the world around us. Until next time, take care.